Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and to what is hopefully going to be a useful video today about how to pack for a golf trip and do so crucially in the way that will give you the best chance of getting yourself, your luggage, and most importantly, of course, your golf kit there safely and in one piece. Now, some of what you take when it comes to a trip will depend on, of course, where you're going in terms of climate, clothing, waterproofs, etc. And some of it will also just come down to personal preference in terms of how much you like to take. I'm a fairly light packer, so not going super overboard, not trying to stuff the golf bag with 8 pairs of shoes and 20 caps, but I think this is a good amount of stuff to take to make sure you have everything you need for a trip, and also to do so and pack it in a way which is fairly space and weight efficient, and as I say, is going to give you the best chance of getting your clubs there safely and in one piece. So a few things you'll need first off is of course your golf kit. Now I'd recommend cleaning your clubs before you fly, a travel bag, and a couple of other bits and pieces which I will run through, as well as the how to pack this to give you the best chance of travel success. Just say I have just my normal golf bag here, which is the stand bag that I use day to day. And then as a travel bag, I have the Sun Mountain glider, which has some pop-up legs to help you get it around a bit easier. I'll show those in a minute when everything is inside. First things first then, club safety, and predominantly that is going to matter with your driver and any woods or hybrids. Now, this is a fairly well-traveled advice now. I'm gonna repeat it. Take the heads off your clubs if you are able to, if they do have removable heads. If they do, you will need a torque wrench. So take the heads off, pop them back in the head covers, and then put them inside your bag. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so for me, it is just the driver head that's removable. So we've got that off now in the head cover. I'm gonna go in the side pocket of the bag and then wrapped in an extra towel as well. And then really the only other thing I would recommend for making sure your clubs have the best chance of a smooth journey is one of these. Now this is a stiff arm. This goes inside the golf bag alongside the clubs just to provide a bit of extra protection at the top end. So essentially have it sticking out proud of the highest club in your bag. It will give you a bit of a buffer should your bag get bumped on that top end, should in theory stop anything from being impacted so that it snaps, anything like that. You can either get these with your travel bag or just buy them on Amazon. This cost £20 or so, I think, but very worthwhile in terms of just giving yourself some extra protection at that top end. So just set it so it is kind of as close to the top of your clubs as the adjustability will allow, and then we can get on with actually packing the travel bag itself. There is one other thing which I'm going to do with my clubs before I pop them in the travel bag, and this is a tip I saw recently online. Apologies, I can't remember where I saw it. I don't use iron head covers because I am normal. But in order to stop the irons getting dinged, rattling around and hitting each other inside the bag, I saw someone put socks over the end of their irons. You're going to need socks on the other end anyway, so this seemed to me a fairly efficient and good tip. So I'm going to sock up the irons now, then we'll get them in the travel bag. Okay, we are sheathed and ready to go. So going to get the bag inside the bag and then secure it. I do know some people like to wrap clubs together, kind of tighten them with string or towels or whatever. I'm not going to do that here. This has got a 14-way divider, so there's minimal amount of give with the clubs in terms of wiggle room. So I don't feel the need to do that. But obviously if you do want that extra level of security, then that is no bad thing. Okay, we're in a good spot here, nearly done. Now, as I say, I know some people like to stuff jackets and kit and shoes and any other number of things in their golf bag. That's not really for me. There are just a couple of other things that I want to get in here. So obviously a pair of shoes you're going to need. For me, I'm just going to take the one. I would recommend putting them inside shoe bags just to stop them getting too scuffed or scratched. GPS watch, it's quite easy to forget on trips like this, and even easier to forget is charger for your GPS watch. So I've got both of those, going to stuff those inside the shoes. Obviously you can buy these when you're out wherever you are, assuming you're somewhere near civilization, but I do have a spare box of balls. Similarly, I just have some extra tees, both the castle and the regular tees, just so I have what I normally play with. And then finally, an air tag. Obviously this is crucial if your bag does unfortunately get lost in transit. So I'm going to slip that on the inside of the travel case. Fingers crossed I won't need it, but better to have it than not. Now that is the Sun Mountain Club Glider Pack. Now, as I said, one of the benefits of this bag is that it has a second set of wheels. So rather than just dragging it around from the top, there is a pop-out set of wheels to allow you to maneuver it around airports and the like much more easily. Ta-da! So then you have full 4-wheel range of motion. There are a bunch of good golf travel bags out there. I have no affiliation with Sun Mountain, but this one has come highly recommended, and from what I have seen and used so far, does appear to be very good, so perhaps one to put on the list if you are in the market. Okay, golf bag packed. Now all we need to do is get our other luggage sorted out and we are good to go. Okay, so that's really the important stuff done. I'm not going to dwell too much on this portion of the video because I'm going to assume that everyone watching this has been on some form of holiday, if not a golfing holiday, at some point in their lives. But I do think there are some little tips and tricks you can pick up, and a few specifics I will go through, as well as an insight into the kind of thing that I will be taking away with me. So just to run through the non-golf bag essentials for a golfing trip. First things first will obviously be what you're going to actually wear to play golf. Now, how much clothing you'll need, whether you need lots of outer layers, waterproofs, etc., will depend on where you're going in the world and what the climate is likely to do. For me, in this case, I'm going to Turkey. It's going to be very, very, very hot. So I don't really need anything more than shorts and polos. Now, regardless of whether you're going warm weather golf trip or cold, potentially rainy golf trip, I would recommend taking at least 1 to 2 more of everything than you think you're going to need. In particular, when it comes to socks. Now, obviously in hot weather, it could potentially be quite sweaty. Cold, rainy weather, you could be potentially quite damp. So particularly if you think you might be playing 36 in a given day, but even if you're not, you may be glad of a few spares in terms of shirts or socks or kind of outerwear, just in case a couple of them do get ruined by the conditions, either external or bodily. So golf attire for me, for this trip, that is going to just mean polos, shorts, belts. I tend to like one light and one dark. These are the McCade elasticated golf belts. I love McCade stuff in general. It's just quite classic, quite minimalist. So I've got the McCade belts, 2 of those, a couple of caps. Again, I've gone light, dark, tempting to take more caps, but trying to pack fairly light here. So probably just 2 caps and socks. Now, this is more generalist travel advice than golf specific, but sun cream, if these were sunscreen while you're playing golf, it's very bad for you to not. And any kind of travel adapter you might need for the country you are going. And then obviously just other clothes, swimwear, etc. for things you are doing when you are not golfing. And the only other thing I would say is, as well as the air tag in the golf bag, I have 2, so I'm just going to stick one in the luggage as well, just in case they get separated or we get separated. Should be an easy way to be reunited. And that's it. We are packed and good to go. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, I would love it if you could consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like. And if you have any thoughts about travel packing tips in general, then do let me know in the comments below and we can discuss. And if you are taking any golf trips in the near future, then may you and your clubs arrive safely. And I will see you in the next one.